Hi, I'm Kahlani Jackson, and welcome to the Asheville View. Today I have with me the beautiful Mrs. Whitley English, and Mrs. Whitley is a domestic violence survivor. Thank you for coming and thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question is, from this situation, what have you learned?
I've learned a lot of things, but from day one, I feel like the very first thing that I did learn that domestic violence is something that nobody really wants to talk about, and there's no support surrounding it, the topic, the situation.
And can you let the viewers know what happened in your domestic violence case? Because I know you talked to me and you said each case is different and it has different factors, but can you kind of tell us about like what happened and what transpired that night?
I was in a relationship with somebody for 3 months, and it was so many red flags, I just abruptly ended dealing with them. One night I got off of work one night, and I went to the ATM I walked from my job down to the ATM to put money in the ATM, and coincidentally, he was there at the ATM. After this year and a half, 2 years, I realized he was stalking me.
Okay.
So he was stalking me after not talking to him for a month. But this was the first time I talked to him that night. I didn't fear that he could hurt me, harm me. But I knew something was wrong about him, so I stopped dealing with him.
So the night that the incident happened and the police saw them putting your body in a car unconscious, can you kind of talk to the viewers about that?
After seeing him at the ATM, he offered to take me home, which was no problem, and I felt like it was no problem. He took me home. But that opened up the door to start that conversation with him. So after he left, he texted me, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing. Bored. Let's go to a bar." Okay. So we went to a bar, and throughout the duration of being out with him, I just realized, like, this isn't going to work. So after the club was over, I told him, "Can I get my things out your car? Because I don't want to leave with you." He let me get my stuff out the car, but he didn't let me walk off. And as I turned around to walk away, I was struck. And the very first hit, I was knocked unconscious. A 6'1", 255-pound man unleashed his rage and anger out on me with his fist. And he ultimately ended up smashing my head into a hood of a car, which made my whole front tooth come out from the roof.
Were there any witnesses?
There were bystanders outside because it was after the club. People linger around after the club. But 3 people ran and got me help. The police that was patrolling that street that night, they were sitting in their car with the lights on. And 3 people went and ran to the car and told them that there's a lady down there who needs your help. So the police ran up to him, putting my body in the backseat of his car. I was unconscious.
So have they stepped in to help be, I guess, eyewitnesses, showing that you were unconscious and a grown man was putting your unconscious body in a car?
I'm waiting on my trial date. So I'm having to prove what they caught and saw. I have to have a trial for that. The police saw him do what he did to me. And it's just like I have to prove it in court, which just makes no sense. So since then, he's been bonded out 4 different times on 2 different charges. He's charged with felony assault and kidnapping.
Okay.
And I went to get a restraining order 3 weeks after the attack. And it's called an ex parte, where they give you a restraining order until you have to have a trial for a restraining order. It's not just you go ask for one. You have to prove that you need one. So it's just a whole bunch of gaps in the system where it's not making it easy or helpful for anybody who's traumatized in a domestic violence situation.
What was your experience with criminal and civil court?
From the beginning, I didn't know that civil court and criminal court was 2 different courts. So criminal court, people are charged with the criminal charges of what they did. And civil court is saying two people, one person is trying to sue another person for personal damages.
Okay. So we bring up the topic of damages. What was something that you lost in this, with the situation that occurred? What was something that you lost?
I lost my front tooth. But ultimately, I've lost a piece of me that I'll never get back, and that was who I was before the attack.
Do you mind showing the viewers your smile?
I have a partial. I lost my front tooth.
And what was the process as far as getting money to pay for your partial?
Luckily, I had Medicaid. So
Okay.
I went to Affordable Dentures, and they gave me my first partial for free because I had Medicaid. But since having this tooth for almost 2 years now, I've had situations where my dogs got a hold of it, I threw it away, and once you lose it, and once you get one free one from Medicaid, you have to pay out of pocket. So I've had to pay twice $400 for replacing just this partial.
Wow. So this week or this past week, you had your first court case that came up. What were the results?
It was a civil criminal case. I took out a lawsuit against my attacker for my personal damages. I feel like it's not about money, but criminally, he's not being persecuted yet. I'm still waiting on trial criminally. So civilly, I took out a lawsuit and I was awarded some money, but now it's if and when I get it.